Kirk's a wonderful musician. He also knows a lot about movies. So he's my movie guy. Kirk, will you find us a movie to watch? So, there's nothing on right now. So he said, sure. And so Friday night or Tuesday night or Monday, I don't know. He said, yeah. I said, old one something. He turned on Coda. Coda was a movie that won the Oscar in 2022. And it's the story of a young girl, 17 years old, and her character name is Ruby Rossi. Her name is Amelia Perez, the actress. And this is what it says, let me not forget something. She's the child of deaf parents, which is CODA, a child of deaf adults. And she's the only hearing member of her family. And she's trying to help her family save their struggling fishing business. And as she grew, she became the interpreter for the family. So they used her as their voice. But she had that divine urge in her. She had that knowing in her that she was meant to be a singer. But her family couldn't hear her singing. And they didn't understand what she wanted to do. And they were afraid that if she left, where would they be? They wouldn't have anything. And so both sides now is what it took. Oh my God, Kirk, I'm sorry, we both cry at movies, so I have a Kleenex and I'm crying and give it to him and we're crying together because it's just so moving, this story, because it's really a story of love and how they love each other so much, but they're so afraid. She was afraid to do what she really wanted to do, and the family was afraid to let her go. And it's how they come together and make it work better than they could have ever expected. She tried out because she would try to balance all these times, was running here and there, that she got accepted for an audition at the Berklee School of Music. And she was going to go, but the family was saying, you can't go to college. You can't go, what will we do? So here's the problem. Don't we get in those difficult times where if we lose something, then everything is gone? We can't change anything. We have to keep it this way. They both had to take a look from a different perspective. And they took a step together. And when she sang, she wasn't going to go to the audition, but when she did, she saw her family came to see her, even though they couldn't hear her. And she started signing the song at the same time, both sides. And the message to me was, if we're going to heal the craziness in the world right now from everywhere, we've got to take a step together and a step up. And oftentimes that step together is the step in the darkness. It's like in the soil where all the new growth is happening, the things we don't see. It's the connecting the invisible world, the invisible force that's in all of us, not some of us, but all of us, that invisible energy that animates everything. It's spirit in us. That is the truth. Everything we see in this visible world is simply the flowering of the invisible. And that's what we're here to do. But it's hard work. It's hard work. I'm sure both Ruby and her parents were just wondering, did I choose? How can this happen? I didn't choose. This isn't part of it. But I'm going to tell you, does anybody feel like they might be in the wrong life right now? A little bit, sort of, like, what's happening? Well, we're exactly where we're meant to be. There are many planes of existence, many different experiences. We're here right now because this life, this experience is ours to live and learn. Mistakes, challenges, problems, they're not punishment. They're opportunities for stirring the pot for us to transform and grow and find a greater truth. Find a deeper perspective that reveals a greater light of understanding. That's why we're here. We're in the right place at the right time. That truly was a simple. We're at the right place at the right time. And now we're called upon to do the right thing. So in this time when I'm really wanting to talk about the invisible and the visible, I want us to think of God as the Great Spirit, the animating principle in everything, whose sole impulse it is is to love. That's the soul impulse, and that's what that movie was teaching us. When we were watching it, that power is so much greater than any challenge or any problem you might see. When you really give it into that, you can come together and step up. So, whose sole impulse is to love, freely giving of itself to all who ask, and refusing no one. That's why we are here at the right time, because Spirit is not refusing any of us anything. We have to be open. If you question about this animating principle, this invisible force, this energy, just go outside. That's all you have to do. Go outside and look at a tree. A tree came from one of those little seeds that Susan was talking about. The little seeds that knows what it's supposed to be. It knows if it's supposed to be an elm tree, an oak tree, an apple tree, an orange tree. It knows. But it's buried in this soil that it needs. This invisible energy to be animated and to grow. Now it just lets that invisible force move through it. And it grows and it becomes. It doesn't say, I don't know how to grow a trunk. I don't know how to grow a branch. I don't know how to make fruit. It doesn't say that. It just allows itself to be in the process. There may be storms and darkness and winter, and at times it doesn't get the water. Who knows? But it knows there's something more that it is to become. Are you getting a hint here of what I'm talking about? Yeah. Just a little bit. Okay, just checking. We have the power to short circuit that flow. That animating principle, the divine energy's in us. We call it the divine urge, the impulse, whatever we want. It's in there. Now, can you imagine if we just let it be? Just let it be us. Because the only way that God's Spirit can work for us is by working through us and as us. That's the only way. We have to be available. We hold answers. We hold solutions. We hold creativity. We hold possibility. We hold miracles in us. But we have to work with the process. We have to work with it. You know, it was Meister Eckhart who said, the closest we can ever be to God, the closest we can ever be to God is in the silence. And I just want to ask you, in this busy world, in this busy, crazy, chaotic, technology-filled world, are you getting enough silence in your life? Not silence where you're just blobbing out. I mean silence when you're really breathing in and making the connection to that power that's in you. Are you making time to do that? It's so easy to get off in the distractions or sidelined into something else when Spirit's waiting for us. Because really this whole journey is about developing a closer and deeper relationship to God and Spirit. That's what our life is about. So we can manifest all that we're meant to be, to do the healing, share the love, be the light. And in order to do that, we have to really understand the power of our word, because our word is the seed. And if we're always complaining, we're really planting bad seeds. Really yucky things that we don't want to grow. But we're always creating. If we want to be creating something more, we have to be using that word. Now remember, in the beginning, in the Gospel of John, it said, in the beginning was the and the Word was God. Through God, all things are made. Not some things, all things are made. So that force in us is that speck, that individualized speck of spirit that belongs to us, that wants to be revealed through this lifetime and the next, all different planes of existence for eternal growth and understanding. But it went on to say, in God was life. That's that animating principle of life. And that life was the light of all mankind. But it goes on to say, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. That's why it's important for us to allow this light to be expressed and revealed in us, through us, as us. Because as we work through this process, making sense of life, bringing the both sides together to have a broader perspective, to know that when we look at this physical world, things aren't always as they seem. There's something more going on, not sometimes, all the time. Because newness is being revealed all the time in different ways. And it's our job to take the time to reflect and realize that's something more. So we can short circuit our life, but if we take time for the quiet, we can get in touch. So what Rumi says is the wound is the place the light comes through. We get broken open. There's the greater understanding, the greater realization. There's what I was looking for. But some of us need to be broken open to open the space that can be revealed. I love what Joseph Campbell says. I wonder if I'm there now. But anyway, he says, the dark night of the soul, just kidding, comes just before revelation. The dark night of the soul comes just before revelation. That little seed may have been in the ground a really long time, and it's losing its patience. Do you get what I mean? Losing its patience, and then all of a sudden it happens. The sprout comes through and pushes through. It pushes through. Wow, the invisible is made visible, but it comes through the work and the process and greater understanding that right where we are right now, life is perfectly imperfect. Perfectly imperfect, and we're here to bring in a greater light. Ernest Holmes said we should always be expanding and always enlarging our capacity to know and experience. What is mine to be known today? What am I to do? How can I? And asking the questions. And then he also said, within each of us, there is unborn possibility. Within each, not some people, everybody, of limitless experience. It is our privilege. It is our privilege to give birth to it. That's why we're here. So if we know that the spiral of life is upward, always. Now, we may get stuck, but evolution is always forward moving. It never goes backwards. We have things to learn. Sometimes I think we're slow learners, but we have things to learn. And we're here to grow and become. It's good. I'll say Rumi one more time. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will never leave you astray. And another pull that I find, and this may work just for yourself, no. It works for family and friends and communities and nations and the whole world. That when we choose to flower and blossom and take a step up in consciousness, whether it's love or faith, because it's faith that pulls us through, or understanding or appreciation or gratitude, we don't just flower for ourselves. We bless the whole world. We make a difference. I just want to share, right before our prayer wall, this is a quote by Jack Kornfield, a beautiful Buddhist. And what he says really moved my soul because it makes sense of things. He said, with unfailing kindness, your life always presents you what you need to learn. With unfailing kindness, you are loved by your life. Always presents you with what you need to learn. Whether you stay at home or travel afar, life is your teacher. So let's just take that moment and thinking life is our teacher. We are here to grow and become something even more, whether it's having more peace in our life, more understanding. Maybe it's more productivity, more creativity, more love. I don't know what it is. But for all of us, maybe more healing in our bodies, in our minds, whatever it is. But right now, just close your eyes for one moment. And I learned a new I was reminded of a little breathing technique of breathing into the count of 4, holding for a minute and letting go for the count of 6. So let's just do that 3 times and just let come to you. What is it you are open to right now? Breathe in. Breathe out. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Connecting with that invisible, animating force of spirit, the power of light and love within. What am I open to? I'd like you to simply say with me, after me, just from that place you touch inside, I am a divine expression of infinite life. The invisible realm is my source. I trust its wisdom. I am rooted in God, and I am living my life with love, with peace, and with deep knowing of truth. Thank you, life. And so it is.